The New York Rangers will begin the regular season in just over a week on October 9th against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at some possible lineup combinations for the New York Rangers fourth line. Now, yesterday I posted a video kind of going over my lines that I would like to see and I would do if I were the coach of the Rangers, which obviously I'm not, but I made a video yesterday kind of talking about, 1 through 4 the forward lines and then 1 through 3 for the defense pairs and kind of talked about what I wanted to see. So today's video, we're going to kind of go more in depth on just the fourth line there because I think this is probably the most kind of just unknown line right now for the Rangers on the forwards or defense. We don't really know what this fourth line is going to look like other than probably the center, which is more than likely going to be Sam Carrick. So we're going to take a look at some combinations here for the fourth line as well as some prospects and players that could make an impact on that line for opening night this upcoming season. So starting off here, let's take a look at all the wingers and centers that I think really have a realistic shot at kind of making this fourth line for opening night. Starting off here with the wingers, we have Matt Rempe, Jimmy Vesey, Kaapo Kakko, Adam Edstrom, Will Cooley, and Johnny Brodzinski. For the centers, we have here Sam Carrick, Adam Edstrom, and Johnny Brodzinski, but I really don't see anyone else being that center on the fourth line for opening night other than Sam Carrick. I think he's the only guy right now, and this is just for opening night as well. Throughout this season, injuries are going to happen, bad plays going to happen. Some guys might get called up, sent down, waived, whatever happens there, we'll have to wait and see, but for opening night, this is kind of what I'm guessing we could possibly see with Sam Carrick as the center more than likely. So now let's get right into it here, taking a look at the 5 different lineup combinations I have for the New York Rangers fourth line for opening night. Starting off here with the first one we have here, left winger Adam Edstrom, center Sam Carrick, and right wing Matt Rempe. And I did have this in yesterday's video for the line that I kind of wanted to see the most for the Rangers fourth line. Adam Edstrom, Carrick, and Rempe, I think that provides some really great overall tough and physical play. Matt Rempe, we know what he can do out there, being that physical guy, hitting everything that moves out there, using his speed and his overall toughness and fighting ability to go up there and really be a menace at times, while also have the guy like Edstrom there who's that big, a little more skilled kind of guy, but definitely has a bit of physical side to him as well and could provide a bit of a decent kind of two-way guy, solid defensively, a bit more skill in that fourth line as well to provide a little bit of a scoring punch possibly. And then we have there Sam Carrick, the center, who is a more of a veteran guy at this point, but a really solid kind of two-way center, solid defensively. And he does hit a lot and definitely plays quite physical, so I think that could be a very nice, tough, and physical fourth line. Next up here, we have Jimmy Vesey as the left winger, Sam Carrick once again being the center, which I have for all of these, and Matt Rempe once again on that right side there. So the only difference with this one is swapping out Adam Edstrom for Jimmy Vesey. Now, this is kind of just a way to maybe go a little more with a more veteran guy here in Jimmy Vesey, who right now is definitely, I would say, probably a better defensive player, but I do think that, long-term wise, all Vesey and upside-wise for even this upcoming season, Edstrom definitely has a higher ceiling, but Vesey is a really solid, responsible, bottom six, fourth line winger who's been on this team for a while now, has a familiarity with the coaching staff for the most part there after, being under Peter Laviolette last season. And I think Vesey's just a really solid kind of fourth line option. So if he's in that fourth line there over Edstrom, I would not be too upset. But seeing the young guy in there who's also massive, just like Rempe, would be very cool to see as well. And next up here, we have for the third possible option I could see, we have Jimmy Vesey as the left winger, Sam Carrick once again as the center, but this time Kaapo Kakko as that right winger. So this is a very interesting line, I would say here. For yesterday's kind of video that I did not have Kaapo Kakko in my actual lineup. And if you're mad about that or whatever you're kind of thinking there, definitely go check out the video. I explained a lot of the reasons kind of why I had my lines as I did, but this is a possible scenario where maybe a guy like Will Cooley kind of wins that third line left wing spot, heals that third line center, and the right wing spot on that third line possibly goes to someone like Brennan Othmann. Maybe we do see a guy like Kakko end up on that fourth line there, possibly in the healthy scratch role, but in this scenario here, I have him as a fourth line right winger being centered by Carrick and the left winger being Vesey. Now, obviously, this one, there's not as much size here compared to the other ones with Rempe and or Edstrom in there, but I do think that a fourth line of Vesey, Carrick, and Kakko could be a very solid, reliable, defensive, shutdown kind of line. They're not going to be, shutting down McDavid and his line, whoever he's playing with, and Draisaitl and all those guys to nothing, for example. But that could be a pretty solid kind of defensive fourth line there. We'll have a bit of physical play there, especially in VC and Carrick. While Kakko, the odd time will have a few hits here and there, but definitely as a physical kind of a guy as someone like, VC or Carrick. But I do think defensively that line could be very good with a bit of an offensive punch there as well with VC and Kakko, although Carrick definitely is not the best offensive threat, but still solid fourth line there in my opinion. And now for my fourth option here, I have Adam Edstrom, Sam Carrick, and Kaapo Kakko. The reason why I don't really love this line maybe as much as some of the other ones is the fact that it's not quite as physical or as tough as some of the other options are, like a, VC Carrick Rempe line or even an Edstrom Carrick Rempe line. Those lines I would say are much more kind of physical and tougher to play against than a line of Edstrom, Carrick, and Kakko. Kakko definitely brings down the overall physicality a bit there, but he does provide that kind of good, for the most part there, kind of two-way defensive game. So I think that could be a nice kind of defensive line there. Edstrom, we'll see how he kind of does there if he does make this team on opening night there, whether or not he can kind of stick on this team long-term and really be a great piece for this upcoming season. I think long-term wise, in the future long-term wise, sure, can definitely be on this team and probably will be, but for this upcoming season, can he really kind of scratch out a, not necessarily kind of full-time role, but at least a quite long-term role in some kind of way there. We'll have to wait and see, but Edstrom, Carrick, and Kakko definitely could be a pretty solid, decent defensive kind of fourth line there for this team. And for my fifth and final combination here, I have Will Cooley as that fourth line left winger, Sam Carrick as a center, and the right wing being Jimmy Vesey. There are other combinations we could definitely see as well. Maybe it's Cooley, Carrick, and Rempe, for example. A lot of different combinations we could see, but this one here is kind of the combination that I could see happening if we do see Cooley get knocked down to the fourth line, which there is definitely a possibility of that happening there. If that does happen and Cooley is on the fourth line there, that probably means we saw Brennan Othmann get that spot on the third line there. He's on the left wing side. You have as a center for that third line being Chytil, obviously. And then for the right winger on that third line, it is probably Kaapo Kakko. Because of Othmann's capability of playing left and on the right side, that's why I do think there's a possibility of Kakko being either a healthy scratch, potentially, or a fourth line kind of guy. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and I very well could be, and I wouldn't be surprised if I am, but the fact is, Cooley is a guy who could be on the third line or fourth line, and same thing with Kakko there. We'll have to wait and see, and Othmann is a big factor in a lot of these possible combinations there, because if he is starting in the AHL, then Kakko pretty much has a guaranteed spot of probably being on that kind of third line there, probably alongside Will Cooley. So we'll have to wait and see kind of what happens there, but Othmann definitely does have a pretty big impact on these fourth line kind of options here. I do think that Othmann should probably make that third line there, and if he does, that kind of is the reason where I do see, Cooley or Kakko probably being on that fourth line there in some capacity, but if Othmann's in the AHL there, it does provide a third line possibility of obviously Cooley, Chytil, and Kakko. So Cooley, Carrick, and VC, I know I kind of got off track there. The lineup, Cooley, Carrick, and VC, fourth line, in my opinion. I like it. It's very physical. It's tough. It's a solid two-way line there. VC, Carrick, and Cooley are all pretty solid, kind of two-way, tough, and physical forwards. So, personally, I like that line quite a bit. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video and all these combinations, definitely hit that like and subscribe button for a ton more New York Rangers content. If you are a New York Rangers fan, there's truly no better place to be on YouTube than this channel. So definitely hit that like and subscribe button for a ton more New York Rangers content. I'll be posting every single day very, very soon. So if you're a Rangers fan, hit that like and subscribe button. And also don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on these fourth line lineup combinations for opening night for the New York Rangers. I've said four a lot of times there, but thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. And let's go Rangers.